In the short story Revelation, I think O'Connor does a really good job at discussing an issue that is very relevant. It was relevant then and it's relevant now, and that's that um, all people are created equal. Um, and it takes a long time for that story to get to that point, which I didn't appreciate. It was almost distracting how wordy the story was. However, it is beautiful um, because it does speak to a realization after a long struggle that she had with the status of herself and the status of others. And maybe I O'Connor doesn't call it a struggle, but that's just how it seemed to me that Miss Turpin struggled with status a lot, and that at the end of the story, she was metaphorically set free by this vision that all people are equal. Um, in Evil allures, but God endures. I think that Tolstoy does a very good job at conveying what I immediately thought was represented as God's mercy toward humanity, um, in the master's attitude towards the slaves when um, one of them tried to make him angry, and Satan's ploy to disrupt the harmony between the master and the slaves unfolded. Um, and the beauty of that story is really in the conveyance of God's mercy towards his people. And I immediately related that um, back to the story of the wayward son and the father's mercy towards his son after the son took his inheritance and went and squandered it, and didn't come back until he was reduced to eating out of the pig's trough. But the father opened his arms to his son and welcomed him back, and prepared a big feast in celebration of that occurrence. So definitely think that that is a story that everyone needs to hear. Um, of God's mercy, and that his arms will always be open to his children no matter what. Um, Both of these stories are very relevant to today, both stories that I think all of us can learn something from, regardless of the length of Revelation. Still a very good and relevant story, still a beautiful story. Um, but I enjoyed both. Um, I did think that Evil Allures But God Endures was much easier to read, and got to the point much quicker and wasn't as distracting. But still, both very good stories, and I enjoyed them.